after a 3-week return home to the United States to cover Pixar Fest in California and also for Stage 89, our event celebrating 35 years of Hollywood studios. Finally getting back to edit these Tokyo vlogs. And so we're going a couple weeks back in time here, but this will continue my trip south of Tokyo, where our home base was Osaka. And this time we're going to Himeji to go see what we would call Himeji Castle. That's not what people that live here call it, but nonetheless, an icon that represents the country in such a way that it was chosen to be a part of the architecture of EPCOT's World Showcase Japan Pavilion. And here is what happened when I went there for the first time. As soon as you exit the station in Himeji, you could see the castle off in the distance. Oh my God. We found a staffless frozen gyoza restaurant where on the honor system you put money in the box and then you take a frozen gyoza. They do have security cameras though, so don't worry. Found this early 80s Disney, I think it's early 80s Disney shop display. It's amazing. Look at Bambi, oh my God. Would it be frowned upon if I go into the store and offer them money for the display? I don't know. It's really cool. So where were they going to build Meet the World? Was that it's in this part, right? That's the show building? All terrible theme park jokes aside, obviously there is a fee to enter the actual space, but the area we were just in previously was free. If you just want to go look at it, you can, but if you've come all this way, you should probably just go in. It's really beautiful, and you see these grounds are in the actual structure, and of course highly recommend going during Sakura or cherry blossom season like we did. But it is a lot of stairs, it's a lot of climbing, but ultimately I think it was worth it, and it's a really cool sight to see. And you take off the shoes and put them in a plastic bag. Stairs for up. I also really enjoyed that there was essentially a tiny museum about the structure in the structure, including this scale model that they used to rebuild it years ago, but then actual pieces of the original structure that couldn't be put back on that are just on display. And then also at the end there's this really, really neat model of the city, which I could have spent hours looking at. So it's just, yeah, it's just really cool. So yeah, there's Himeji Castle, but then next to Himeji Castle is the Himeji Zoo. And apparently in the Himeji Zoo, there is a version of the Golden Zephyr. This is incredible. I almost want to go price the zoo just to ride the Golden Zephyr. It looks like a really unsafe version of the Golden Zephyr though. Leave it to me to always find some sort of theme park. This one's the beauty theme park. Okay, so we're gonna learn how to fry food. What can go wrong? At first, add the dough to all the ingredients. Next, add panko breadcrumbs. Add to the fryer slowly. The worker makes with discretion, so please don't leave any left over. For the best taste, don't do more than 5 sticks in a box. When you fry seafood, be careful, since the oil may jump. Be careful not to let your child touch the fryer, since it's very dangerous. I won't let my child touch the fryer. Don't have a toast or cheers over the fryer. Be careful not to let water get in the fryer. Yeah, I'd hope so. Never let anything other than the skewers enter the fryer. Be careful when using matches or anything flammable. Are there going to be matches? Or someone smoking at the table, they think, okay. The temperature of the oil is automatically adjusted, so please do not touch the control panel. Be careful, since any damage to the fryer from carelessness will result. Don't worry about damage to you, but damage to the fryer is a problem. And then there's cooking time. What could go wrong? Where do you put them in? You just drop them in?
Yeah, just eat it.
This seems safe. I did an excellent job breading. Don't worry, after you fry your own food, there is a giant dessert buffet, which was entirely matcha themed, including a matcha fountain that I may have put too many marshmallows in. Can't imagine why I went into a food coma after this. I had some early work calls this morning, so I was pretty exhausted. When I get back, I took like a nap, because I think I slept all of 5 hours last night. We walked a lot in the castle and stuff too, so park closes at 9:30. It's 7:30 now, so I guess I'm gonna go get some steps in for 2 hours. I'm going to apologize in advance for the audio quality. All I have with me is the phone and the stabilizer. Just came out for the last 2 hours of park operation. Yes, that is Winnie Woodpecker. Woody and Winnie still meet here. But I'm going to apologize. I know it's windy out. Oh, Woody's right there anyway. There he is. But since I'm going to be getting steps in, and the lines are all 60 minutes or more for anything like Jaws or Potter or anything, I'm going to get my steps in. Let's just do a walking tour of the park. Something a little different. I don't know. We'll just do that. Take you along for a walk. But yeah, Woody and Winnie. Could you imagine? That guy had Woody Woodpecker on a screen on his backpack. Yeah, so the like entrance area out front is somewhat unique. It's kind of, again, it's like that 30s Art Deco Hollywood, but it's this, I don't know, it's kind of this It's a very different architectural style than the other Universal parks, the other studio ones at least. And then once you get in, then it becomes, you know, a little similar, like with the Hollywood facades, but they are so much bigger here. Everything got scaled up. I don't know if it got scaled up effectively. Everything feels oversized. I will say once you step into the building, it just feels like this doesn't match the scale intended. I like the facades. They're pretty. It just, I don't know, something about it feels off. The roof doesn't help either. I know obviously the roof is great when it's, you know, raining, but there's still plenty of parts of the park you got to get out to, you know, where it's not covered. There's the Boulangerie, which I love. Great counter service. Can't talk enough about that. Then they have a 4D theater, which is one of the prettiest facades, period. I love this. It's so big. I don't know, a grandiose like movie theater feels right for these parks. I kind of wish this facade existed in the other ones. But yeah, right now it's they do a lot of anime stuff here. And it kind of takes over, I think I talked about it briefly, it kind of takes over those spring months and summer months. So I forget what's usually in there. I think Shrek has been in there. I think there's a Sesame Street film that's been in there. Then if you leave Hollywood Boulevard, you kind of break into Universal Studios Florida a little bit, right? Because we've got the sound stages, we've left actual Hollywood. But here's a little bit of that Art Deco I'm talking about that's different from the other ones. I really dig it. I think it's a cool style. But you'll see these sound stages very similar to the USF ones. They have those little architectural flourishes on the corner. They match, different color scheme, but they're there. I will warn you, this might be heavily edited as we pick up background music, because the background music in this park is horrendous. It's literally just like top 40 stuff with no rhyme or reason seemingly to it. So I'm going to talk a lot to kind of cancel it out. We've kind of left Hollywood Boulevard, and now we're in the studio now, right? So there's like what would be the commissary is this Studio Stars restaurant. That's another one where it's always overlaid every time I come, and it's a shame because the interior is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So when the park opened, this was E.T. This space, not this building. I believe they built a different building. Maybe I'm wrong. They might have used E.T. soundstage. But then later it became Space Fantasy, which is one of the very few original IP Universal attractions ever built. I think the rest of them completely existed at Islands of Adventure. But for a Studios park, it's pretty weird to have a ride that's not based on any film. Here's Studio Stars. Not based on any real TV show or film. It's a spinning coaster, kind of Cosmic Rewind 20 years before Cosmic Rewind. And I love it. I think the original characters are super cool. I did one trip where I got to ride it. Totally was worth the journey all the way out to Osaka. I love it, and I'm very sad I haven't gotten to do it since. And it's unclear when that'll come back because they do an overlay constantly. They always do sort of a VR headset anime overlay. This was Terminator. I never got to see Terminator here. That was one of those things that was lost just shortly post-COVID, this and Backdraft, and I never got to see either of them. But this is Terminator, and this is not a seasonal overlay. This is a semi-permanent edition of a Detective Conan 4D show. But apparently if you go in there, it still looks like Terminator. I got to do it at some point. I think this has had a crazy wait all day though, because it's relatively new. I think it's closed for the day now, but Maybe tomorrow I'll try to see it. If not, next visit. I'm sure I'll be here in a couple weeks. I got the annual pass, so I'll be back as we count down to Donkey Kong. So yeah, so we have the studio section. This, you see, the Studio Stars building it's really pretty. Then you end up in New York, which in many cases is a straight reproduction of the New York from Universal Studios Florida. The street, I think the street is way wider. The facades feel scaled up here too. I think they scaled up the whole park. But everything feels so oversized. I don't know if it's going to translate in the video, but the problem for me is everything feels insanely oversized. I feel like I'm too small for the bottom story. So imagine, you know how Disney does forced perspective a lot? This is the opposite of forced perspective, where you like forget that the bottom floor needs to be smaller and you just build the bottom floor, or you forget that the upper floors need to be smaller, right? You just scaled everything exactly the same and it does not work. I've never seen this fire truck down here. But so you might be thinking like, oh, that's where the Ghostbusters firehouse is supposed to be, and the building has some architectural elements of that, but oh, don't worry, just hold on a minute. We will go find the Ghostbusters firehouse. It's going to be in another weird spot. So there's kind of two Ghostbusters firehouse facades in this park. Gonna talk over the music. Please don't ding my video. Please don't ding my video. Oh, there's Finnegan's. We showed Finnegan's the other day. We talked about Spider-Man already. That's gone now, but word on the street is Pokemon. Maybe we'll get an announcement when Donkey Kong opens. Oh good, the music, that loud music stopped. I've never been in this Finnegan's or eaten at this Finnegan's. I don't know what the menu's like. I assume it's still going to be pretty, maybe it's not going to be very Japanese. I see the bloomin' onion. That's the recommended menu. I see chicken wings, soup. No, it's pretty American, I think. Oh, they're filming a TikTok. But yeah, the New York section is almost identical. But then without Transformers, there is the Illumination Theater there, which is home to, there's a Sing show, which I think is actually really well done. I think it's here and I want to say Beijing is the two of them. It has audio animatronics and they're pretty decent, and then also live performers mixed in. It's kind of like the Sing version of Country Bear Jamboree. I think it's absolutely worth seeing. It's weird and interesting, and it's very well done for what it is. See, I don't hate Universal. They can succeed. They just often don't for me. Their Louis actually has good pizza. A rarity, I know, given the other Louis, how bad it is. They also, weird thing, the side with pizza is steak fries. Their steak fries are phenomenal. The other weird thing they do with the pizza that's common is they'll top it with honey. You can ask for that. And they kind of make like a little show out of it as they put your pizza box together. They'll do this honey drizzle and they'll like hold their hand or their arm real high. It's kind of a little show. But I don't know, it's like honey on pizza. This just seems, as someone who grew up in Bronx, New York, this does seem sacrilege, but I'll try it. It wasn't bad. What is this? Oh, there's a little ramp down to this like seating area. They do not have a lagoon show. I think someone told me they did at some point. I think they had a stunt show like we had many years ago, but Yeah, so just like in our park in USF, they New York transitions to San Francisco. San Francisco has Despicable Me in it, essentially, because the Institute of Future Technology, which was part of Back to the Future, was in San Francisco in this park. There's what was Richter's. In Florida's Richter's is I told you, the Happiness restaurant or cafe or whatever here. There's Flying Dinosaur. Jurassic Park The Ride is closed for I believe, over a year-long rehab. It is not becoming Jurassic World, though. It will return simply very refurbished as Jurassic Park. There you see the Discovery Center restaurant. It's pretty. Smaller. See, that's one of those weird cases where that's smaller than the one in Florida. Out in the distance, we can see Amity. Way beyond Amity, you could see Mount Bean. I believe that's Mount Beanpole, the very top of Super Nintendo World. We can't get in there tonight because you had to come very early and get a return time to enter the land, essentially. Those are long gone now, especially on a Saturday. And then Hollywood Dream the Ride, which is a roller coaster. That was the inspiration for Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. I hate to say that because Rocket's a piece of garbage, honestly. Hollywood Dream is at least a fun roller coaster that looks good over the skyline. It's at least pretty to look at. I've never been on it. Their seat restriction is very tight, which is weird because I've been on the same coaster from the same manufacturer and been perfectly safe. But, you know, Japanese culture, an extra layer of safety, they increased the limit. Is that, or would it be decreased the limit? They reduced the limit in size, so that right? I don't know. It's been a long day. I just woke up from a nap. Either way, I cannot fit, even though I've been on the same coaster from the same manufacturer in a bunch of other places. There you see the Illumination Theater and this really nice little seating area out in the pier. Doing this all in one take is a little bit like when I used to live stream every day. I don't know how many people have been watching WDWNT content for a couple of years, but post-COVID, from the soft reopening of Disney World through, I think we did it for 3 or 4 months, I did every single day a live stream from the parks in those months. And, you know, the number of people that stop us and say that's when they started watching WDWNT, or that's when they found us, is staggering. So it was it feels a little bit like that. I mean, I'm talking to myself, but yeah. So here's Minion Park is this area, this street, which all these facades, I think, got minioned up, and they made a big Minion store and little Minion cafes and things of that sort. It's pretty busy back here. I don't know about squeezing back in here right now. Let's keep walking. Happiness Cafe. Do you think Coca-Cola's the sponsor? I can't be sure. All right, so over here on the left was Backdraft and a fairly large store. The store is now gone. So if I was a betting man, this is directly next to Minion Park. It was Backdraft, so we know generally the size of the footprint. And they started construction very recently. Well, what would that lead me to believe this is going to be? My theory, no one's told me anything, but my theory is this is going to be Villain Con from Universal Orlando. I know people, it's a polarizing attraction. I don't think it's very good. I like the queue, but I think the attraction is silly. There's a lot of lag every time I've been on it. I don't think the system's great. But this was Backdraft, but now it's going to be, in my theory, Villain Con. And then I told you we'd see the Ghostbusters facade at some point. Well, not completely correct, but pretty darn close. So there is a weird modified, like, Greystone version of this, where it would be in New York, and then this more correctly colored version over here. But the kicker is Here it was the entrance to Backdraft, which Backdraft we never had in Florida. That was at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's interesting that got built in 2001 with this park, because we skipped it. We just didn't think we needed that. I don't know what we consider our equivalent. Maybe we thought it was too close to Earthquake because we built Earthquake as a ride, which you'll recognize. This is the old Earthquake facade, now part of the exit facade for Fast and the Furious Supercharged. But it's here too. Here it's the seating area for the Chinese restaurant. But there's Lombard's. Lombard's made it. Again, they're doing the Detective Conan thing, which I think is a dinner show. It might just be dinner. They have done dinner show things here though. But I could turn on my Google machine and figure out what the signs say and tell you if it is. I think it is, because this is a photo. There's a photo op involved across the street. There goes the flying dinosaur and the moon. I should have went into the Minion Park and yelled about the moon. That would have been on theme. But God, let's get out. Let's get out of the top 40 music before none of this is viewable. I know in this this vlog we aren't spending a ton of time at USJ, and I'm kind of making up for that by walking around. I know some of you were super interested in what I was doing outside the parks, but there's a part of me that's a purist and like, well, we're a theme park news organization, so I don't want to show you too much non-theme park stuff. I want to have a good little balance if I can. It's an interesting choice to light the sign for the ride while you're closed. I'm kind of surprised by that. One thing is that they're more impressive probably at Tokyo Disney, but occasionally there are some very themed Coke vending machines in this park. This one I love with this Triceratops with the Coke logo. It's fun. You could see our hotel and all the hotels I've stayed at in the skyline there with this InGen truck. This is a cool view though. Yeah, and this is why I say this park is a weird combination of if the studio parks and islands had a baby, this is what it would be. Because it's got the lagoon in the middle, and it's got some of the themed lands around, right? Like they built Jurassic Park as a themed land in the studio park. Obviously Amity existed in Universal Studios Florida, so that less so, but this having Jurassic Park and being on the water around this central lagoon does give Islands of Adventure vibes. And this was built, this opened just 2 years after Islands of Adventure. That was 99, this was 01. Oh, there's a themed construction wall. We gotta go see this. We're gonna go look at this. You know me and my themed construction walls. We are enhancing this area for the comfort of our dinosaurs. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love it. You know what we should do? We should go shopping in the exit shop of Jurassic Park the ride. I went in there the other day and there was some really neat stuff. Again, my favorite things about this park, eating and shopping. Usually because every time I've come it's busy like it is today, and even here around park close you can't do much. Last night it was much calmer. I got to ride Jaws with no wait. Probably mentioned that in the last little segment from last night, but oh, this is nice right now because nobody's in here. Also, this ride is closed, which is helpful. We can go see the raptor in the cage that scares the children. Every so often he'll scare the kids. Gotta wait, we might have just missed it. Oh, he's much slower than he used to be. I remember he would do like this real quick. He would kind of jerk. He's not doing it now. Okay. His motion would be a little more violent and he'd scare the kids. Maybe they got tired of that. What did I see this? Oh, I love this puppet. The puppet. Nomatophobia. So cute. He says Jurassic Park. The only problem with this stuff in here is so much of it says Jurassic World. They don't even have Jurassic World, but all these guys say Jurassic World on them. And there's blue, there's the weird blue plush. Then they also did for the Chinese restaurant, they did the T-Rex too. I've shown these before. I think we've actually had these in an auction before. It's the T-Rex visiting the park. There he goes. I heard him. I missed him. He's being violent, but we're too far. He's wearing the Jaws hat. He's eating the turkey leg from outside, and he's drinking a park drink. Just enjoying his day at the park. There are other versions of that with other park characters. And then, of course, the big thing is the big plush hats, right? This actually does say Jurassic Park. The big T-Rex hat. They're super fun. A lot of really fun stuff in here. This is really cool. These are cookies in the Universal globe. I think it might be the same thing for the 20th. A couple years ago, they did a version. The packaging's very different. And here's Splashdown Snacks. That's where the turkey leg lives. Yeah, I think we missed the Discovery restaurant. Maybe next time. I think it's closed. Yeah, they're cleaned out. I'm curious what their hours are. 20, which means 8 o'clock. So that wasn't that long ago. I could have ran here. Please don't take down my video. This is why, if you ever wonder why the other vloggers you watch do so many quick cuts and that kind of stuff, it's really to avoid what I'm going through right now. And in Universal, it's super hard. We used to live stream a bit from Universal Studios Florida when they reopened. And what we came to realize quickly is if you pass certain areas, forget it. The whole video's coming down. And if you go anywhere near the Blues Brothers, God help you if you go near the Blues Brothers show. You're done. Yeah, we can't go in Super Nintendo World. It's loud. We can't go in Super Nintendo World, but I can show you the sign. This is where it is. We're to the left of Jaws, and it basically it threads the needle between Jaws and Waterworld. That sign does not want to show up nicely. Nope, still washed out. Let's try this. There we go, kind of. There you go. Yep, they do have Waterworld. And I don't know, should I show you guys the map? Maybe the map help you guys visualize better, although this Waterworld music is gonna kill me too. There you go. Yeah, so Super Nintendo World, Jurassic Park, Waterworld, Jaws, Wizarding World, and Harry Potter. So you can see it here. They went behind Jaws to build both of those. So you have to walk around either side of the Jaws attraction down these walkways where there's nothing for miles, feels like. And then you can get back to Harry Potter and Super Nintendo World. But yeah. They're very landlocked here, very landlocked. And so there's always been a big fear that Jaws would close because they are so landlocked. Obviously, Jaws is a very big ride. That's why it closed in the US. It was prime real estate. Also, it was expensive to run and maintain. Yeah, this area, but my problem with this park is sightlines, right? They built Flying Dinosaur, so there's nets over this entire street. It blocks the Jurassic Park arch, which is, again, one of the most iconic landmarks in film history, recreated in a park, something you'd want to take photos of, and it's blocked by nets. And they don't have the arch on the other side, it's only on this side. So, and now we're entering Amity. Welcome to Amity. For those of you that don't know much about the Jaws ride, pretty infamously an opening day attraction. I think we showed this already, but another look. Pretty infamous opening day attraction from Universal Studios Florida. They basically, the way that park was envisioned was they took what were scenes on the tram tour in Hollywood and built them out into full-fledged rides. And Jaws was one of the most iconic scenes of the tram tour in LA. And so it got its own ride. It was a very new ride system. And essentially was the same ride system as Confrontation, but a underwater version. So think of it as like the first attempt at the enhanced motion vehicle, but very rudimentary and kind of designed very wrong. So Kong and Jaws both really didn't work often, especially the first year of the park. Jaws got to the point where, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is off the cuff right now, I believe Universal closed the ride, sued the manufacturer, and then rebuilt the whole thing with a new manufacturer, which was Oceaneering, which I think is what got Oceaneering into the theme park business. Again, all off the cuff, I'm trying to remember. Oh, look at that. Oh, we gotta pull off to the side here for a second. I saw the Nintendo skyline. I can get that to focus maybe? No, not really. I saw the Nintendo skyline and I was like, what are those glowing eyes? Is that Bowser? And then I was like, that's too high to be Bowser. That's Donkey Kong. That's the temple. I wish the quality was better right now. You get the idea. If I do this. No, not really. That's the problem with nighttime and iPhone. It was all I brought to the park tonight. You guys get the idea. It's lit. I don't know when we're getting it, but it's lit. That looks cool in the distance. I'm hoping that's the savior of that land. I'm hoping they pull that off. Because I've said before, I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, and I haven't met anyone who thinks the Yoshi ride is good. Look at this. Is again, we are an hour from park close. The Jaws line is spilling outside, which, you know, I really want to ride it, but also it makes my heart happy to see people still enjoying it and it's still popular. I also wish we could film it, but they are, again, militant here that you cannot film it for fear of a guest dropping their device into the water. Many have tried, few have succeeded. It's a real shame. I think I'm going to stop recording for a second. So this is these are my favorite vending machines because they're one of the few you can get Coke Zero in the park. I'm going to grab one. Out along the main walkway here on the way to Amity, there's just this. I'm not a big Harry Potter person. I know this is something from the books and the movies. Someone will write in the comments what it is, but this stone formation is all the way out here to let people know that this is the portal to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I assume mostly because they were not allowed to have a sign, like a big marquee light up sign that says the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So that wasn't a possibility. There's the big, lots of stones to let you know you're in the right place. And then people seem to be able to figure it out. But we're gonna walk uncut. We're gonna walk this walkway. Again, apologies to those of you at home if you see any obvious cuts, you know what happened. And to Billy, who edits these down after we see if they make it onto YouTube or not, I apologize, because I'm sure you had to cut this down. Also, I'm not crazy. Like, this is, I just got the new iPhone, the newest iPhone, I should say. It's not new anymore. I'm not crazy about how this is, at least it's looking on the phone. This nighttime video, it's kind of glossy. I feel like it's not focusing well. I'm not a big fan. Maybe it'll look better when it's edited. I don't know. Stream of consciousness video, like a live stream. You can live stream here. A fun fact: Tokyo Disney has outlawed it. They don't allow it, and they don't allow vlogging so much as if you're bothering other guests while vlogging, you could be asked to leave. That's why we are always very quiet and very respectful. I mean, I try to be quiet and respectful no matter where we go, because I don't like to interfere with the guest experience, and I hate, last thing in the world I want is someone to look over and be like, oh, look at how loud and boisterous he's being. He's one of those vloggers. I hate that term. Same as blogger. Like, I feel like that was a dirty word for a long time. And I have tried my best over the years to avoid drawing attention and being lumped in with the people who made that a dirty word. So they do have a lot of their own merchandise here. A lot of stuff says Universal Studios Japan, or is honestly quite different. We'll go into Honeydukes, and I'll show you real quick this Honeydukes line of merchandise. If there's no one at the rack, there's not. Look at this, what timing. There's a plate and a box. Get the idea though, but otherwise the interiors are all very similar to how they are in the other Wizarding Worlds. And butterbeer cart. Is there actually no line for butterbeer? Are they open? They're still open now. Three Broomsticks still open too. How late are they open? I've eaten at this Three Broomsticks. It was good, but super expensive. I think I paid like $30 for a meal for one person, essentially. But it was good. It's not the first thing I would run to in this park. Let's walk over here. We can see there's always lines to do the wand stuff here. They have a couple of different wand effects that the other parks do not. So where the entrance to Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure would be, or where, you know, back then Dragon Challenge entrance was, there's this door that locks and unlocks, has these big locking mechanisms that move. You can kind of see it happening back there. So you can do that one. That one has a shorter line. The one that always has a long line is this guy. I think I waited 30 minutes to do this. The crazy thing is like, because the line is long, you have a set amount of time. And if you've done these in any of the parks, you know it is very precise sometimes. And so you get a couple of tries, and then the crew member that's standing here helping people, if you don't get it in a couple tries, they kind of just say sorry, and you have to move on, and you've wasted your time. That is a thing. I was, what's funny is, I don't know if it was like a pity, it was, I didn't know like animal noises came from behind the door. I've never seen that. I know it does the lock, but I've never heard the noises and seen the lights. That was pretty cool. So I don't know what it was about it, but I did it on the first try, and the whole line clapped, and I felt like such a big idiot. I was like, you're like the big dumb American did it, hooray. He figured it out. But like the 5 or 6 people ahead of me did not, so I was really anxious about it. I was like, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is do this line again to get this video of me doing it. And I'll see if I could dig it up to insert here, but you'll see the clapping, and you'll hear, or you'll at least hear the clapping, and then you'll hear me laughing about the clapping. The coolest thing you should go check out on our Universal Parks News Today YouTube channel, which is something you should subscribe to if you haven't already. We were here for roughly the early, I'd say the first couple weeks of, they did a bunch of new entertainment with magical creatures, and one of the shows is they bring out a full-size hippogriff onto this stage. That's pretty neat. Then there's the Niffler, the Pygmy Puffs, and the Dragon. We have a video with all of them you could watch. I highly recommend it. I think they're coming to Epic Universe. They haven't announced it yet, but it's neat. Oh, well, look at this. Good thing we came back here. I think we can get a better look at him out by the lake. So the coolest thing about this Wizarding World is there is a walkway over here. It doesn't go anywhere. There's just sort of a little thing that juts out into the water so you can get really pretty pictures of Hogwarts. So that's all this is for. And you can get it with the lake in front of it, which is as intended, right? Like in the movie, that Hogwarts is on a body of water, right? It's right on the lake. And here you get to see that. What ruins that for me is then if you turn left, it's Super Nintendo World skyline there. But we can see, I'm gonna try to zoom again. There it is, there's the temple for Donkey Kong. That is really cool. I'm really looking forward to this ride. That might be the only thing in Epic I'm looking forward to. That and the Monsters attraction, the Monsters e-ticket with the Kuka arm. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say half these things. I don't know what's announced and not announced at this point. I have no idea. I've been out of America for too long. I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Oh yeah, they have Flight of the Hippogriff. Flight of the Hippogriff is a weird, funky story that's kind of similar to what happened with Maelstrom, right? Like Maelstrom got turned into Frozen Ever After, and then Disney decided to build Frozen Ever After in 2 more parks. That being said, you know, like I said in my honest review of Frozen in Hong Kong, I think they really plussed it and made it a full-blown e-ticket. And I think it's, you know, if you don't get to regularly see the Frozen Ever After at Epcot, or you've never seen it, I think you'd be blown away. In a similar fashion, Flight of the Hippogriff, that was, God, I'm gonna blank on the name, something unicorn, flying unicorn? Whatever it was in Lost Continent at Islands of Adventure, that was reskinned for Potter. They decided to keep that and Dueling Dragons. And then what's funny about that is the land was such a success, they built more of them. And guess what happened? They built more flying unicorns as Flight of the Hippogriff. So a ride that would have never been cloned otherwise then somehow became this thing that was cloned for all of them. I guess what worked in its favor was a small footprint, and you built a ride with a very restrictive ride system that has a height requirement, right? And there are plenty of kids that like Harry Potter, so you needed something for them to do if they couldn't ride Forbidden Journey. You can just be like, well, you don't get to ride any Harry Potter rides because you're a child. And it is, in fact, this and Nintendo are both dead ends in this park. You have to turn back. Again, landlocked, and just the way this park worked out. I think the last little sections we got to see, I think we got to go see Wonderland. The car is here, by the way. There's a photo op with the car, and you see it's lighting up and making noise. We gotta go see Wonderland, which is the kids area of the park, which is a couple of different IP. And then we gotta walk down that other Hollywood section we did not walk through. Our little nighttime tour of Universal Studios Japan. And get this out of the way now while we're on this long walk. People ask, do you think it's worth coming here? I will tell you, there are a lot of cool destinations out this way. We are not far from Nara. We are not far from Kyoto. There is stuff worth seeing in Osaka proper. So if that works into it and you really, really, really want to come here, you can. I will tell you, definitely come on a weekday and get here as early as humanly possible. If Nintendo's your top priority, I think that's going to be, it's already true now, and it's been open for a hot minute already, and now they're going to add Donkey Kong to that equation. It's going to be even crazier, I think. This park still has annual passes, obviously, and so they show up in droves all the time. So this park gets real busy. I've again very rarely been here when there's not really a crowd. I think when I came in November of 22, it was a little slower and I had a good time, but when this park is overwhelmed, it's pretty miserable. There's not a whole lot of attractions you can do with minimal weight, even like diversion type stuff. There's a couple of theater shows, but I will tell you, some of those get crazy lines. That Detective Conan thing we looked at today, which is Terminator, right? It's the amount of seating and capacity of Terminator. That had an 80-minute or more wait today. So, if you thought Tokyo Disney wait times can be crazy, this park I think gets even more overwhelmed. Not that there's more people in it, there's just less to do and less space. Okay, instead of going to the front of the park, we're gonna hook a left into Wonderland. They do have flavored popcorn here. Some of it's pretty good. The mushroom one, the mushroom cream, I think it's mushroom cream soup, the one in Super Nintendo World. Really like that one. I would try other flavors in the park. Don't do the churros. They look good. There's a terrible music loop in this land, by the way. What was I don't even remember what I was saying now. I lost my line of thought, my train of thought, it's gone. I got distracted by cute characters. It'll come back to me hopefully at some point. I'm very old. So the three IP back here are Peanuts and Snoopy, Hello Kitty, and Sesame Street. Again, Sesame Street in the US, typically found at the Busch Gardens and SeaWorld parks. But Japan, it was available. So there's a giant Snoopy store. It's not open right now, but there is a giant Snoopy play area with a kiddie roller coaster. And that play area has a bunch of essentially recycled interactive features. They're themed to Peanuts, but a lot of them are from the Hanna-Barbera attraction post show that used to be in Universal Studios Florida. But right now, again, not open. But big Snoopy presence here. They love Snoopy. Lots of Snoopy merchandise. Here's the Snoopy Easter stuff. I bought someone a cute Snoopy and they were like, it doesn't look like Snoopy, and they were mad at me. And so I could buy them a more traditional Snoopy. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I thought it was cute. I thought it was the cutest one. It was fluffy and soft. He's kind of a little fat. He's a little pudgy. But I was told that's not Snoopy. And I will not return it because it seems mean to adopt a dog and then send him back. I would never do that in my entire life. It's very evil. I see some eggs over here. There's a Snoopy and Charlie Brown egg, I think. Oh no, Snoopy and... oh God, I don't know the other dog. I have no idea who the other dog is. Lucas is gonna kill me. For those that don't know, Lucas, who builds our sets for News Tonight and kind of manages the studio and office space, he is a very big Peanuts fan. He actually has a tattoo of Charlie Brown's sweater on his arm. But I know this is Woodstock and Woodstock's family. I don't know what to call additional Woodstocks. What is the plural of Woodstock? Yeah, here's... there you go. But yeah, this like Kids Bop-esque loop back here will drive you insane. But yeah, here's the flying Snoopy, like the least sensible Dumbo clone in the world. You know, if only Snoopy had some character that flies. If only he like portrayed some like aviator, and that could be the ride. That would just make more sense. But alas, Snoopy is not known for being any sort of famous aviator. We're in the Hello Kitty section now. It's very pink. This area has been a couple of different things through time. At one time, it was Oz for Wicked. And this giant building in the back, we're going to see this with the Elmo on it, was a big theater space where they did a half version of Wicked. It was like half of the musical, but all of this was themed to Oz. So it was like, I guess it was the Emerald City. I've seen photos, it's been a while. But yeah, there is a carousel. There's a little car ride. There's a bunch of indoor stuff in there, which I think is closed for the night already. There's a balloon ride. There's a skateboard ride. A bunch of little flat rides for Sesame Street. There's a Sesame Street store. We could breeze through here real quick. This is Moppy. Moppy was created exclusively for this park. It's an original character for Sesame Street and a mascot for USJ. Should I get some Oscar the Grouch stuff that seems like me? That just looks like Cookie Monster though, but green. They kind of look the same. I think this is essentially a Hello Kitty meet and greet. I've never done this stuff back here, so I don't know. Of course, there is separately a Sanrio theme park in Japan. I have not been. I think that's one of those things that's on the list, is that in the Studio Ghibli parks, but I probably need to watch. The people are I'm gonna get hate mail for this. I probably need to watch some Studio Ghibli movies before I go there. I've seen Ponyo, and I think that's it. Yeah, go ahead, leave your hate comments. I know they're coming. Just get it over with. And girls just want to have fun. All right, we got one more leg of the park to walk. And then I think I'm going to try to find some dinner. Game day is done. Oh, bugs. They want to have fun. Want to have fun. Bugs. Someone in the comments is going to know what I'm referencing. So they do have kind of an Easter celebration. There's not a whole lot to it. There's a marching thing that's not currently performing. It's already over mostly for the season. There's decor. There's some food items. I know the Minions have some food items. There's a drink that looks like it has an egg in it. It doesn't actually. This is going to be, now I'm going to have to talk a lot because this Hollywood street is a lot. I think this is supposed to be Sunset. This Hollywood street has a lot of top 40 music. What is the horror makeup show theater in Florida instead is home to the Universal Monsters Rock and Roll Show. You remember the Beetlejuice show? This is a different version of that. So this is not the same one, but definitely inspired by it. Yeah. Beetlejuice is in this one. It's super corny, very 90s theme park. If you missed the show in Florida, though, I think you'll have a good time. I like this little store on the left. This has a lot of, it'll be like Jaws and Jurassic Park, and also some merchandise for the Universal Monsters show will be in here as well. Oh, there's the towel I bought. With the logo they've never used here. That never existed here. But I had someone buy this because I thought it was so weird. They literally didn't make another item with it. It doesn't like to focus when I do that. We got some Jaws stuff here. Cute headband. I have this. I will buy like every Jaws item they come out with. Here's the monster stuff, which is pretty. It's neat they have this. Not my thing, but oh, that didn't work. Let's do this. Let's start our crazy show. It's very cute. Oh, these are two girls that are in the show. I forget what their names are. I think there was more merchandise in that line, but it's gone. I think this is a Jaws moo-moo. Someone's gonna tell me it's like a beach cover-up, but I don't know, with the dots it gives me moo-moo vibes. Moo-moo vibes for sure. So here's where I start to have very intense problems with Universal from a theme park integrity point of view. Like, look, to a lesser extent, I care what's stocked in the store, but as far as the facades of the shop, I definitely care about the integrity of the area, right? There's Mel's, by the way. I haven't been to this Mel's, but I'm assured it's as bad as all the other Mel's, although I'm not sure any could be worse than Florida, where the manager tried to coerce me into a positive review knowing I did not like the food in our most recent review. But anyway, I digress. So there's like Hello Kitty theming. Like, this is a whole Hello Kitty store here, and I don't, it's just like, this is supposed to be Sunset Boulevard. What's going on? And then the other thing they've done, which I've seen them do in Hollywood too, is just, we built a land that's too small, so we need some like overflow Nintendo merchandise and food options. And so I'll just cram them wherever. Like, this is why Universal will never catch Disney, in my view, is the easy way out, right? This is the easy way out. This is like, oh yeah, we'll just retheme the front a little bit. I'm like, but what does Mario have to do with the dark room and Schwab's pharmacy? Come on. It just doesn't make sense. It's just it's cash grab. Stuff in here. I will tell you, if you want to look more in depth at the Super Nintendo World merchandise from when it grand opened, we have like an exhaustive video tour, but this I think opened before the land. I think Spencer came to cover this back in the day. But yeah, here you can get the mushroom cup and the flour, and there's these kind of gross sandwiches and these unremarkable drinks. It's a shame because the food in the land I think is very good, but that just bothers me, right? And then this is Minions. I'm sure there was a thematic integrity to the front of this park at some point in time. Between the music loop and whatever the hell is going on out here, it just feels like low-hanging fruit. And if you really want to hurt your heart, look at the Brown Derby. They painted the Brown Derby pink, and it's the It's So Fluffy store, and it's literally just like the unicorn from Despicable Me. But yeah, that's a quick little walking tour of USJ. I know we have a bunch of other USJ videos you can watch on the Universal Parks News Today channel if you're so inclined. It has its moments. Like, I will tell you, if you miss Jaws, if that was like one of your favorite rides growing up, it's worth a day trip here. I brought my parents last year, and that was one of our favorite things. And that nostalgia trip alone was worth the visit for me. My parents they loved Mario Kart. They hated Yoshi, but they liked Mario Kart, and they thought the land was cool, and we had a good enough time. But I think it's probably worth a day visit if it's really important to you, and you can make it a reason to come down to the Osaka area, and a good reason to have a day or a couple days in Kyoto if you want to stop there on the way here, on the way back. Same with Nara and some other cool places. It's a reason to leave the Tokyo area, because I will assume any of you visiting Japan are going to Tokyo. As you're watching this, you're Disney fans, and if you come to Japan and miss the two best Disney parks in the world, well, you're out of your mind. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna go find some food and close down the park. if you do miss American food a little bit and you're in a hurry somewhere, I cannot recommend the Lawson's chicken enough. These little chicken nuggets, they come in a variety of flavors. There's lemon, regular, there's this red which is spicy, there's ones with cheese. They're fantastic. Highly recommend. Yeah, all the food in the park was closed, so I ended up with my Lawson's spicy chicken nuggets. You get 5 in here for like, I think it was like 230 yen. I have a receipt somewhere. I mean, it's pretty damn cheap.